Month was started quite a few years ago as a way to highlight manufacturing. Obviously, a lot of us are even calling it industry because there's more to manufacturing than just welding or whatever the case might be. So there was a nationwide movement by the NAM, National Association of Manufacturers, to start this event that would change the perception to youth about careers, not jobs, but careers in manufacturing. So it's blossomed. Now each state then, and it turns out to be now each community, have grabbed onto that. They've gotten a hold of that rope and said, okay, we want to pull in the right direction. Governor Ricketts has signed a proclamation that says, hey, you know, this is Manufacturing Month. And then now each community within the state, working in conjunction with either their chamber, the local chamber, schools, and businesses, are putting together different kinds of events. The ideal event is to get schools into the business to see what goes on, how it goes on, what kind of things are happening. So you'll see in the entire month, depending upon what community you're in, because each community has kind of chosen a different date depending upon what works. Where I'm at happens to be the 14th of October. That's what we're going to celebrate it and bring some students through, many manufacturers. So that's how it got started, and that's how we're celebrating it. That's a great question, Stan, because it is a career. When you talk to a lot of people in whether they be in accounting or sales or engineering, many times they started off in a different form of manufacturing. Maybe they were a welder, maybe they ran a machine while they were going to school. There's a variety of different things that they may have started with. But the nice thing about it is a lot of companies you get into, they have programs where they will continue to pay for your education if that's necessary, or move you up into those spaces of their business that they might have a need for. So let's say you have an acclimation, you know, you're running a machine on the floor, but you have an acclimation, you want to be an engineer. Many times nowadays, those companies will help you become that engineer and then retain you on the payroll and then help you get your education. One is probably that it's a low-paying, dirty event, and it's really just the opposite. Manufacturing careers are high-paying, livable wages with good benefits, and they're in great businesses. To compete, number one, all businesses, they need to be clean and they need to be safe, and that's just common sense anymore. If you don't have a clean environment, it's not a safe environment, and you want a safe environment so that way everybody that comes to work that day goes home that day. So, you know, that's one of the big misconceptions. And also that some of the jobs, whether they be running machines, programming robots, they're really not a glamorous job, but if they really are, because you're creating something. At the end of the day, you have to think about this. Everything that we look at, touch, feel, or drive has been manufactured. So that means somebody had to not only design it, draw it, but somebody had to put it together with nuts and bolts and screws or welds. The best way is, there's a couple of actually good ways. The best way is just take a look at your school. First of all, say, okay, what does my school offer as far as I would call technical skills trades? It can be referred to as STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math. And many schools are now trying to offer those types of programs. And then work within that structure, participate in manufacturing day. If your mother or father or cousin or whoever in your family works at a business, see if you can job shadow. Here's a perfect example. We had our controller, her son job shadowed yesterday to be an estimating engineer. So he's a junior in high school, and it was part of his high school's career curriculum. He had to job shadow a few hours. So we brought him in. Here in a few days, we're going to have about 25 students in, and we're going to take them through the entire gamut. So, you just need to be involved and be aware. Another good thing to be involved with is Skills USA. And if you don't know what that is, you can Google it, but Skills USA is a nationwide event that in many schools have a Skills USA chapter. I don't care what you want to be, from a hairstylist to an auto tech, there's a curriculum and a package for this up and coming student. It's right at the top. As you develop your skills, your entry level wages may not be what you want them to be, but very quickly, if you perform, and frankly, you show up on time every day, you can make a very, very good salary. So to give you an example, a welder, just to use a term that everybody knows, it would be nothing for a welder to make $85,000 to $95,000 a year, depending upon what kind of welding they're doing. And not to mention then, many of the folks that stay in those trades, even if they're plumbing or whatever, they're craftsmen, and they usually can do some pretty cool stuff. And we need craftsmen. Yeah, there will be more robots because they're a little bit more efficient. They can do some of the more dangerous work safely, but they don't program themselves. And the way that our economy is growing, a lot of people are entering retirement. When people enter retirement, they want to buy stuff. So we have to have people to make the stuff that the retired people want to buy. So that's it. There's always going to be that need, and there will always be a need in industry. And by the way, as we talk about this, manufacturing, you can be working for a manufacturer, but be an account controller. There's a big demand for basically safety, people that are involved in safety, or even processes like lean processes where they try to take all the wasted motion and effort out of a plant. So whatever you're kind of acclimated to, there's a position and will be a position for you. In robotics, and those are becoming more and more advanced as we speak. Where there's a lot of companies that are adding vision to their process, sometimes high-speed vision, and it's even into the meat packing places where they're using vision to determine whether a chicken breast, for an example, is the right thing. Some of the other things, though, is plant connectivity, where all the machines in a facility are connected, kind of the Internet of Things. And so that is another level of technical expertise that businesses will need to be able to make sure they're connected correctly. What is the data telling us? All of that. And like each day, there's something kind of new and unique coming out. Machine tools, for an example, are easier to program. They're intuitive program. We were talking earlier about robots. But today they have intuitive robots where instead of using a teach pendant to take it to tell it what to do, you literally will grab the arm of the robot and point it and teach it how to perform a function. I would just recommend that whoever's listening, whether it be a parent, a student, an educator, get involved. Just say, hey, I heard about this manufacturing day thing. If you don't know what it is, call your school first if they have anything going on, which they probably do. If not, the chamber should know, or they could reach out to the Nebraska Chamber website, and we could, through the Nebraska Chamber, really hook you up with what really manufacturing day is about. So a quick story about that. The other day, I was out on social media and promoting, manufacturing day. A lady messaged me from Houston, Texas, said, I've never heard of it. My two daughters would love to be a part of this. So we worked through the National Association of Manufacturers, found her, unfortunately, their school did not have anything, but they had some events going on in town, had some other manufacturers. We were able to get them hooked up. So if there's a will, there's a way.